Hey guys, back for another anime day. Last time I talked about Rurouni Kenshin. Today I want to talk about another one of my favorites. Okay, today I want to do the first video talking about one of my favorites because I can't help but do multiple videos on Hunter x Hunter. And yes, there's an X between them, but in the title screens of the episodes, they're used as spaces, not as letters. So, today, I kind of want to focus on the main reason why it's one of my favorites of all time. And as you can see in the thumbnail, it shows the main character, Gon, a young boy who's seeking after his father. In this world, there are these particular people called hunters. They pass a, a giant exam, a big physical exam, a mental exam, and it's basically who's the best warrior and who's the most capable individual in the world. These are top citizens, period. They are the most capable people ever. If you become a hunter and you get a hunter's license, you basically get to do almost anything you want. His dad became a hunter and abandoned him. And while this frustrates the rest of his family, to him, this is a thing of excitement. What is it about being a hunter that makes his dad so willing to abandon his son? So he goes off on his own trip to become a hunter, to understand why his father left him. In a way, it's kind of a sad story. I mean, we've got a young boy who grew up without a father, who should resent his father, but for some reason he's just fascinated by him. And along the way, he faces some of the most horrible challenges in the world. And yet he still presses on with this exuberant and almost innocent spirit about him. It's like he can't help but just look at the world in some form of a positive light. I like to think of Gon as the conqueror. The challenge arises, and it's a horrific challenge. It's something that would make your stomachs churn if you saw it in real life. Some of the villains that he's up against are cruel people who don't care at all about the damage and the pain that they inflict on other people. Yet Gon comes in to an impossible challenge, and no matter how much he's beat down, he tries again anyways. And eventually he overcomes each of these challenges. There's one part in particular that I'll go ahead and spoil for you, where he's in the hunter examination trying to become a hunter. And the very last challenge is a one-on-one battle between him and another hunter examinee. The only goal of this one-on-one is not to win, but to make your opponent surrender. Gon is stupidly outmatched. By the way, if you don't want it spoiled, end the video right now and just go watch the show. It's pretty early on. There's really not a lot of filler until you get to the part I don't like about Hunter, which I'll talk about in another video. But seriously, go watch it, because if you have seen it, you'll understand why I appreciate this part. If you haven't seen it, go watch it first, because it is probably one of the most moving and incredible scenes in the entire show. He gets beat down over and over and over. He's clearly outmatched, but he refuses to give up. Even when he's given the threat, "I will break your arm," he presses on anyways. His arm is broken. And then he is told, "I will cut your legs off in a manner that they can't be reattached." And he presses on anyways. And the reason that he wins is not because he's more capable, but because he is the most persistent. That is what I find so intriguing about this show. He is the conqueror. He comes into a challenge that he cannot win. There is not a single situation where he can win, but he presses on anyways. That is inspiring. That is good writing. That is incredible character development. And that's what's so unique about this show. And I'll wrap up in just a moment. It's not a show that focuses on this grand overarching story. The grand overarching story changes a lot from scene to scene to scene to scene. Of course, this whole time he's trying to find his dad. He becomes a hunter and he's trying to he decides he wants to actually find his dad and ask him and find out for himself why his dad left. And while that's always there, as the story progresses, it continually becomes like a background thing until the very end when he actually accomplishes it. It's a secondary goal. It's not the main story, because the main story is Gon's development from a boy to a man. That is what I love. And the same thing happens with my favorite character, Killua. Killua comes in a very broken soul. By the end of the show, he leaves completely changed. Same thing with Leorio. Kurapika is kind of a lost soul. Pray for Kurapika. But all of them change drastically, and that is the point of the story. That is why I love Hunter x Hunter. Next time I'm probably going to talk about the music because there's something special about the music of Hunter. It's probably one of my 3 favorite soundtracks of all time. And I think that I have good reason for putting it in my 3 favorites of all time. But I'll get to that another day. That's all I have for right now. If you want to watch it, I suggest it. It will change your perspective on it'll change your perspective on anime. It'll change your perspective on literature. It's an incredibly written piece, and the characters are so endearing and enchanting. You'll fall in love with at least one of them, if not most of them. That's all I got for right now.